Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Gerald Smith Jr., and to my right is...
I am Rody John, and to my left is...
Amy.
In today's show, we talk to Tre Michael Dae about the art of spoken word and his unique open mic, Speakeasy.
We also talked to Special Olympics athlete Devonta Perkins.
And finally, we sat down with Jerry Warden, local legend of the metal scene, to talk about the Arlington metal scene, Mavericks Bar and Grill, and...
He even had a special guest.
Stay tuned for that.
So what has everyone been up to?
On Thursday, I went to Truth Vinyl for their open mic. They are actually moving it from 5 to 8 to 6 to 9. So that way it's a little easier for those musicians to get out there.
Yeah, when the time we hosted it, it was like, I think I had to leave work early to get there.
It's true.
On time. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pushing it back. It's going to work out a lot better for the musicians.
I think so, too. What else did you get up to?
On Tuesday, I actually performed at Hooligans. They do open mic comedy from around 9:30 till whenever they're done.
How did your set go?
It was not very good, no.
Was it well received?
There was just comedians there, so no. But I got it up there, and that's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
gotta
I'm
get
proud
your
of
time
you.
in.
Got to get that
absolutely.
holiday funk out.
Darrell, what did you do?
Yeah.
You told me you did something super cool.
I did, actually. I am a UTA alumni.
Oh.
So I was on Instagram, and I happened to see an ad that was for UTA basketball. And I was like, oh, I like UTA. I like basketball. It was like an ad for, it was like a $10 ticket. You get a ticket, you get a drink and some popcorn. Like, it was a pretty good deal.
Ooh.
And so I was like, cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
We can make like a whole day of it. I took the family. We went. My kid met Blaze, the mascot.
Oh.
She took a photo with some of the dance squad members.
Very
We
cool.
lost, unfortunately.
I heard that.
But it was a good game. They played their butts off, and I really appreciated that. And I really enjoyed being in College Park Center. It's a really nice facility. If you ever have the opportunity to go, you definitely should. I'm going to go a whole lot more. I'm going to buy T-shirts, and I'm going to buy hats, and I'm going to be that guy.
Foam finger and all.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys got to go do that. What a cool thing in Arlington.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there. We just got to get out there and do it.
Take ownership of your own healing and well-being through natural medicine at the first ever Consciousness and Psychedelics Conference on Saturday, January 25th at the Bob Duncan Center in Arlington, Texas. Featuring interactive sessions, inspiring speakers, vendor booths, and genuine connections.
Tickets are available now on Eventbrite, and each ticket includes a conference swag bag and a seat at the DMT Audio-Visual Experience. Please note that no tickets will be sold at the door. Search Consciousness and Psychedelics Conference on Facebook or Eventbrite for more information.
We're here with Tre Michael Dae, founder and proprietor of Speakeasy. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Can't complain.
Awesome.
Excellent. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm out here doing my best.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
So can you explain to us and our listeners, what is Speakeasy?
Oh my God. Speakeasy is a nomadic open mic series. We connect artists with artists and people with perspective. And also we connect artists with opportunity. So, I don't know, man. We do a lot of stuff. I try to make it like kind of more of a community deal than just an open mic. I like to reach beyond what happens behind the microphone and into the community. So
Cool.
What makes Speakeasy different from other open mics?
Oh my God.
Where do I begin?
It's a moving circus, man. So we're nomadic by nature, and like part of that is like when we first started 2 years ago now, like we had our official date of our 2-year anniversary was like November 10th. And at that time we were in a dance studio called Vive by Design in Arlington, Texas. And I've seen open mics. I'm an open mic baby, so I've been around the scene, and I know that relationships between entities and venues aren't always guaranteed. So I kind of knew that eventually we either outgrow or maybe something unfortunate might happen and we could have a falling out. So I said, let's be nomadic from the jump. So we did 3 open mics at that location, and then just like I kind of predicted, we outgrew that space like I think the last one we had there was so hot. Like, not only was it like hot, like the talent was amazing and the people were sexy,
but it was like physically uncomfortable.
Bro, like, my glasses were steamed, bro. It was a steamy space. And so we had to move around, and like from there we've just been touring Arlington, Texas, and we've reached out to Dallas and Fort Worth. But I mean, my main focus is Arlington and curating culture within Arlington, Texas. So I think that's what makes us different, man. We're a moving circus. It's not just about the open mic, but we have secret shows, we have art exhibits, we have like whatever, bro. It's a circus.
So I've noticed that even though it acts as an open mic, you do curate who performs and who doesn't a little bit, and that's because you work off of a theme for each open mic, and that kind of makes it a little unusual as well.
Yeah. Originally, the theme started as writers' prompts because like we do with a lot of poets.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had to, like we want to make these themes vague enough to where they apply to almost everybody, but also like something that people can relate to. So the themes kind of turned into these big occasions, and as far as the curation, people come up, they sign a list, and I'm like, I'm in the community. I know a lot of these artists anyway, so if I know you have a certain vibe, I'm gonna put you next to an artist that's gonna complement that vibe, or contrast that vibe starkly. So yeah, that's why I get a list of people, and I'm pulling from that list in random order.
Oh, wow.
Random order, and I'm doing
random finger quotes right now.
Little bunny ears.
So how did you get involved in spoken word?
I don't know, bro. It chose me.
The spoken word life chose you?
Yeah, I didn't choose it. It chose me. I grew up writing, so when you write, you need an outlet, and I just started going to open mics around Fort Worth, Arlington, Dallas, and met up with a lot of other cool poets, and I don't know, they inspired me, and I kept going with it, and one day I just started hosting open mics.
Who does inspire you?
People like Rage Almighty. He passed away recently. He was an amazing poet, like killer. People should look him up. A lot of local artists like Awaji Johnson, Annika Michelle. Man, there's so many cool poets out here. Like everyone from Heroes Lounge, Dallas Slam Team. These guys are really fire.
Okay.
So what does poetry and spoken word bring to the scene, the overall arts and music scene that other art scenes don't? What is different about spoken word?
Poetry is a very vulnerable art form by nature. So when you write, you are usually in a more vulnerable space. And what that does when you're behind a microphone in front of strangers is, for the artist, it creates kind of a cathartic relation. Like, I'm getting all this stuff out. I'm spitting all this crazy stuff to a whole bunch of strangers who don't know me. Now they feel like they know me better.
Right.
Even though I was just doing this to vent, or I was just doing this to express an opinion or something. Poetry often can be more political. Poetry also is sexy. Poetry is it's just your words, and like when you're challenged to create entertainment with just your voice, like
it's like a kind of like a hard. I wouldn't say a hard sell, but I think the challenge is sometimes greater.
Yeah.
Than doing a guitar, or like being able to paint, or doing some sort of visual art.
Exactly, it's a different challenge, and it's fun because purposely restricting yourself to that medium, just your voice. Whenever you restrict something, it actually creates more possibilities.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
because you have to tell it with your emotions, and you have to tell it with your body and your words. It's not just the words coming out, but it's everything together.
Truly. People think poetry is like, hey, here's my words on a piece of paper,
here's
right?
The Xerox poem.
Try reading it monotone. It's not gonna.
People do it, and it doesn't work. Right. It's just not. They don't know how to capture the audience. So poetry is like, yes, it's your voice, it's your word choice, it's your body language, it's tonality, it's words not spoken. Sometimes like a strong pause will mess them up real hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, go ahead.
Have you found that a larger spoken word community has been inclusive to what you're trying to do, and I guess just the community in general? Like I'm more of a music guy, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with spoken word. But how does the community feel toward, like, I guess, in regards to other music communities?
I would just say, like, we give space to people who usually don't get that space.
Yeah.
I think that happens often. Like minorities, women, anyone who's been on the fringe of society usually gets that poetic space. I don't know what it is about these people, but they tend to write. Right. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they're attracted to a microphone that's open. So, and music is amazing. Music is poetry. Yeah. But when we make space for just the poets, sometimes it, I guess, it also comes with like a certain air, right? Like you go into a poetic space and it's very different than walking into a musician space.
I was just about to say, like, I feel like the vibe is just like, it feels different.
It really does. It feels like heavy and light. There's an emotionality in the air that you can feel. Yeah. And there's like a connectivity that exists between the performers and the audience that I don't always find in other settings. Yeah. You know, there's a real intimacy occurring between both parties.
What do you hope to see from the Speakeasy moving forward?
To continue to connect these artists with artists. And also, like, from a business standpoint, like, being nomadic means I get to create relationships with all these different venues and the artists themselves, and I get to watch their careers bloom and blossom. And Speakeasy has become more than just an exclusive poetry space. It's never been exclusively poetry, but I think hearing the word speak easy, like, it attracts poets. So we have like maybe a 60% poetry base, but like we have a lot of musicians coming in. And also because like we do this events in like 4 to 6 hours. There's not a lot of time for everyone to get on. So I literally created 2 stages. And who knows where this goes in the future, but now I have this thing called the Secret Show and the Open Mic. The Secret Show is a showcase of artists that I'm not going to tell who's on this bill. You as an artist get to say, yo, I'm on a secret show. I'm on a secret show for the Speakeasy, and I'm standing next to a stranger and I have to create that conversation. Hey, yo, are you on the? I heard that this guy was on. Are you on the bill? Yeah, no, I'm not on this one. I'm on the next one. Or I'm doing this next time. I'll be up here. Like you have to come into the Speakeasy and go find where the secret show stage is. Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. And that means that as an artist, you can get exposure either on the secret show stage, which is a showcase, or you can just walk up and sign up day of. So, options.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Well, I want to encourage anybody around to check out the Speakeasy shows. They're incredible. It took me forever to finally come out to one, and when I did, Trey, you told me that it's like nothing else that you've ever been to, and you were right. It didn't disappoint.
And she talks about it all the time.
I do. Yeah. I really was into it. And where can people find out about the Speakeasy?
Spoken Easy on IG. You could ask your neighbor; they know.
Amy knows.
I don't know. Like it's kind of like if you know kind of stuff. But I'm working on a website, so soon you'll be able to connect through a website. And also we have a Facebook page, Spoken Easy or the Speakeasy Open Mic on every platform.
Very nice.
Cool.
Do you have any other things that you want to talk about before we get out of here? Any other thoughts you have on spoken word or what you're doing or what you see in the art scene?
What's going on, man? I don't know. Like, it's definitely blooming. I think that Arlington is becoming a budding hub of artistry.
I feel that way, too.
I feel that way also.
I think that we have a lot of bricks that are ready to be set. And then we can start building something. And I say I played 2 shows here in the last 6 months, but
we're helping support it. So
that's fair. Yes. We're out here trying to put a spotlight on it, and one of the reasons that we bring all the musicians and artists that we do on is because we want people in Arlington to know that it's not just the stadiums, it's not just UTA. We've got all kinds of stuff here.
Yep.
We have a legitimate underground, really good arts, music, and poetry scene.
Yeah, it's true.
Like it's happening.
Like what Didden's doing and what Austin has done is happening here now.
Yep.
And the question is, how do we define ourselves separately from these other entities?
Yeah. And how do we keep it authentic? And how do we keep it?
And how do we keep it feeling like Arlington and not like Austin or Denton or any other sort of small town? Not small. We're not small, but like not as big as like Dallas or Detroit. Or
that's another thing. Dallas and Fort Worth are also like there are allies, but also there are competitors.